Alright, hey, welcome to MTH250 Intro to Statistics. My name is Josh Fix. Um, I just wanted to kind of give you a quick run through of the course. I'm going to make several of these videos over the next couple of days. And even though the course is going, we really have to, you hear me say this more than one time, we really need to kind of be going wide open with what's going on here with the course and our content. I'm kind of, this is brand new with Canvas, so make sure you're asking me lots of questions. Make sure that if you're concerned about something, if you're not sure where something is located, please reach out to me sooner than later. And I think probably the biggest thing that I would say to you, and I put this in the syllabus, is that this is a 3 credit hour course, and you should be spending probably 2 to 3 hours for every credit hour per week. So that's anywhere from 6 to 9 hours per week you should be putting into this course, which seems like a lot because if you already work a full-time job, have family, or if you're a full-time student, and you're taking classes, you got a part-time job. I mean, that's a lot just into one class. That's why you need to divide it up and look at it as pieces each week. Some weeks are going to seem really heavy, other weeks will not seem very heavy, and you'll see what I'm saying when we look at, like, how much is on the course calendar and stuff like that. So with all things said, let's go ahead and jump into it. And so, I'm familiarizing myself here with Canvas also, so we're kind of going to learn this together. Come into the course here, and this is what we should see as far as our home page. Is that I've got it set up here to see our recent announcements on top. And so kind of keep up with those. If you haven't read those, please take the time to go into them and read them. I'm not going to go into that right this minute. I'm kind of going into just the layout of the course and a run through, like a welcome of what's going on. So if you wanted to break down and look at the announcements, you can pull it up that way. The syllabus, and that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the syllabus and jump into that. So what we have right here is syllabus part 1, and I'm going to go ahead at some point and I'm going to add in just the course calendar, and so next time you look up here, you'll see that there'll actually be a link in there for the course calendar, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit pause for just 1 second on this video, and I'm going to open this up as a regular old PDF so it's full size, and then that way it can be easier to see. Alright, so that way it's nice, full size, easier for you to read, and you don't have to zoom in so much on your screen since you're watching this off of a YouTube video. So here's a quick run through. The class is a fully online course. My name is Josh Fix. My email address is jfix@thomasuniversity.edu. Cell phone number is right there. I'm talking fast because you can always read this on your own, and I want to make sure I keep this video to as minimal amount of time as possible so that you'll watch the entire video. So this is an asynchronous online course. Basically what that means is you work at your own pace. There's no assignment that has to be completed necessarily, synchronously with your other classmates. At, let's say, Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, you got to log on and do work. You log in anytime you want during the week and do your work at whatever fits your time frame. As far as method of communication, it says please read the following to determine the best method of communication. In general, basically, probably the best way to start off is with an email. Send me an email that says, hey Mr. Fix, I'm working in section 1.1, I'm having troubles with practice question number 3, and I need just a little bit of help on that one. I can go in, I can actually log in and look and see what problem you've been looking at. I can pull that question up. I can, at that point, work through it. I can create a video and send you that video. We can set up a time, as it says in this paragraph right here, to meet and talk on the phone, or to meet in Zoom, which is an online conferencing software. So quick run through one more time. Start off with an email. Send me an email and says, hey, I'm working on section 1.1 or 1. Whatever it is, or 2. Whatever, and I'm working in practice number 3, and I'm having a hard time. Like I said, I can go behind you, I can pull up that exact question you were looking at and kind of see and work through one and help you with that, these different methods. I am a middle school math teacher right now, and so I'm about to go on summer vacation, so obviously Monday through Friday I'll check my email and what's going on morning and evening, more than likely throughout the day sometimes depending on what's going on. I also will check on the weekends, but I like to kind of just I don't want to promise you anything on there in case I go out of town or something like that. But generally, if I go out of town, I'll send you an email and let you know, hey, I'm going to be gone. So if you don't get a response from me till Sunday, that's why. And I know a lot of you will be working on the weekend, so just reach out to me. Okay, that's the key thing. I'm going to respond to you within 24 hours, 95% of the time anyway, and probably less than that most of the time. Text messages also work. Like, so for example, if you send me an email and you're kind of in a frantic situation, like you're trying to, your work schedule only allows you to get so much work done on this day, and you need a response, send me a text message and say, hey, Mr. Fix, I sent you an email. If you get a chance, can you take a look at that and get back with me? And it's whatever. Just give me a heads up that you're looking for me to take a look at the email. With phone calls, I do my best to return them as soon as possible. Number one thing is, I'm here to help you have a successful experience at TU. So please reach out when you have questions. No question's a dumb question. I'm here to help you if you're uncertain about stuff. So our course is going to focus on these topics: inferential statistics, statistical techniques including measurements of central tendency, dispersion, probability, sampling, elementary significant tests, confidence intervals, correlation, regression, and ANOVA. This is an introductory statistics course. This is a course that's designed to kind of give you an overview so that if you go on to work on any more advanced degree, then you would kind of have that foundation of what's going on. Prerequisites and all that stuff you guys can read. I'm reading this just because it fits my personality as a professor, as an educator, as a lifelong learner. This course is designed for you to think critically. It's designed to engage you in an orderly, open-minded, informed inquiry that begins in clear understanding of problem or circumstances and yields purposeful judgment or analysis. I want you to discover information. I want to put it there and have you work through and try to discover the pieces. But when you're struggling, please reach out to me. I want to help you fill in those gaps. I don't want you to feel like you have to teach yourself this content. If this is a face-to-face class, you would come to me before class or after class with questions that you had over homework. That's exactly what we can do with this online environment. So don't be hesitant to think, oh, well, I've got to teach myself everything. I've got to go YouTube to look for the answers. No, you don't have to YouTube to look for the answers. You send me an email and I will help you and push you towards the right answers or towards what you're trying to learn. I try to foster a community. I don't make you interact with other students in the class that often. So because this is asynchronous and that you kind of work at your own pace. So obviously that's kind of nice for you because you're not required to have to foster those relationships. But feel free to reach out to people in the class as you need. But I do want you to learn to communicate effectively, because to me, I call it giving you an edumacation. I'm educating you on statistics, but the reality is that when you get this piece of paper that says you have a 4-year degree, we want you to be able to be marketable to an employer, and to be able to communicate effectively, and to be able to address people appropriately is a key concept. So I ask that you take time in your emails to address me. By my name, Professor Fix. This is not a text message. This is an email, and so you go through that, and it's professional each time, and you'll see that when I respond to you, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to respond to an email. I'm going to respond to your name. I'm going to go through with the body of the text, and I'm going to communicate with you. And then I'm going to close that email out and then send it to you. And obviously you're going to find spelling mistakes on mine. I'm going to be in a hurry. I'm only going to proofread it one time. Obviously I'm a math teacher, and I wish I was better at English, but I'm not always. I try to reread and fix my grammar as much as possible. So just do your best with that. And like I said, because I want you to graduate with this piece of paper that says that you have this degree, but more importantly, it says that you are marketable to an employer, that you're going to come to them with skills that are going to make you an asset to their business. Your grades. How does your grade break down? So basically you have, inside of Hawkes Learning, and we'll get into this at another time, but basically inside of Hawkes Learning you have these homework assignments. And the homework assignment is kind of convoluted, and you're going to be kind of confused at first, but it'll make sense as you go on. Essentially, you have a learn, you have a practice, and neither one of those count. Neither one of those give you a grade. And then you have certify, which gives you the grade. And the certify is kind of like a quiz. It's kind of like you did the homework and the practice, and then you do the certify. But like I said, we'll get into that in another video another time. But basically, you've got your Hawks Learning homework, you've got a couple discussion board posts, and you've got a couple of Microsoft Excel assignments. Those assignments all together come together for 30% of your grade, and we'll look at those more closely later. You have 5 tests for this course, which account for 50% of your grade. So that's 10% per test. That's a huge percentage. So it's so important that you prepare and that you keep yourself organized as you're going through the homework, because that's one benefit of this being an online course. The way that I minimize you and what your resources you can use on the test is by minimizing your time. Only having 2 hours only allows you so much time to go look up answers in your notes or to look up answers in what you did previously. So when you're doing the homework assignment, if you keep your notes organized when you're working through problems, then when you're taking the test, you'll have the ability to use those notes as a resource to help you on the test. And that, I think that's still part of the learning process. And then ultimately it comes down to this final exam, which is 20% of your overall grade, and that exam is proctored. So you are allowed to use one sheet of notebook paper front and back as notes, and that can have formulas, it can have examples. I don't necessarily hand you a study guide for that test. I tell you can study from the 5 tests that you've taken so far, and that's how I built my final exam, is from the 5 tests. We'll touch on that stuff again later also, but that just kind of give you a perspective of how your grade's broken down. We follow the standard university grading policy. Online class. Here's a couple important dates. Those are also listed in your course calendar, your course schedule, excuse me, and inside the syllabus you see in just a minute. So classes began today. We have Memorial Day on Monday the 28th. That's next week. We got 4th of July. We're closed. The last day of regular classes is on July 20th, and then we got final exam week wrapping up on July 27th. Alright, so here's the catch-22 about the textbook, is that you don't need a textbook. You need an access code. But if you're old school and you want a textbook, then what we have is at the Thomas University bookstore, you have the ability to purchase a hard copy of a textbook with the access code for $111. The option that I would go with is for $82.75, and that gets you an access code to Hawks Learning, and inside of Hawks Learning you have access to an ebook. The ebook has highlighters and everything else you might need, so, and obviously I'll kind of set some stuff up and kind of point that out another time. I'll touch base with about Hawks Learning later in another video. This is just supposed to walk you through the course as a welcome to what's going on here. I will tell you this also. If you purchase the textbook straight from Hawks Learning, and I'm just going to take a minute and go ahead and go to that site. I'm going to just jump right here and open up a tab, and I'm going to go to that spot and create an account. So let's just say you went here and you purchased, like right here, you purchased this through this spot right here, and we continue. It's $75. So if you walk through this process here and you entered your school name and found your way through the thing, you pay $75 for what you're paying $82.75 at the bookstore for. So that same exact thing, just cutting out the middleman there to lower the price a little bit. So please, if you have any questions about that, reach out to me privately in an email, and I will gladly help you and explain what I'm talking about. However, I will tell you that no matter what, I do expect every one of you to go ahead and get logged into Hawks Learning this week. And you can do that because right down here at the very bottom there is a spot to request a temporary access code. And that temporary access code will take you through 14 days of this class. Plenty of time for you to be able to figure out how you're going to pay for that $75 or the $82.75 or that $111. So I expect that to be done this week. You have homework that is due on Sunday, and if that homework is late, then the 10% late fee late penalty does apply. So please get started as soon as you possibly can, and just kind of get yourself going in the right direction. I have other content, other posts about that particular topic, which we'll address later. All right, so for this class, by the end of the semester, at some point you're going to need speakers and headphones because you're going to need to be able to communicate with ProctorU. You're going to need a webcam when you're taking your final exam, and that microphone or headset is going to be needed, like same thing as speaker or headphones for ProctorU. What I use on my computer is I actually have a headphone set now, but I just use like my iPhone headphones. I plug those into my laptop, and it works great. The microphone works great, so something like that. So don't run out and buy. Some of you might have a computer that has a webcam on it or a microphone already on it, and you can use that also. That'll be sufficient for your communication with ProctorU. Graphing calculator is what I teach the class with. However, I do have the course designed so that you can use what's called easycalculation.com also. So if you don't have access to a TI-83 or 84 and you're not interested in going and dropping another 70 to 80 bucks on a calculator besides your textbook, then I do give you the option of using a website. In the real world, we would use Microsoft Excel or some type of spreadsheet a lot of times to do these calculations. But because this is a college class, and because in math courses in college you're going to use a calculator, that's why we just use a calculator traditionally for this course. If you don't have one, a couple things I would recommend is reach out to a friend. More than likely you have a friend who has a high school student who has a TI-83 or a TI-84 graphing calculator. Since this course is only 2 months long, borrow it for the summer, give it back to them at the end of the summer. The other thing I'd say to you is check out a pawn shop, or on, now that we have Facebook and we have these marketplaces, look on there for TI-83 or 84. The resale value, so for example, you can buy a TI-83 for the same price that I paid for a TI-83 probably 10 years ago. So it doesn't decrease. And you use that calculator for a semester, and you can pretty much resell it for what you purchased it used. So the value of those calculators are not going down because it's universally used across classes all over the United States, all over the world. So pawn shops, friends, look in the local ads, look on Facebook Marketplace, and you can probably find one used. Let's see. Inside of Canvas, we have resources here at the university. They're underneath the Contacts tab. So talking about the minimal system requirements for software, library resources, the Academic Resource Center, and disability services. Let's see. You must, yep, that's correct. You must log in by 5:25. So by, what is that, Friday 5:25, you must log in and complete a portion of the opening activities. If you haven't, then you're in danger of being dropped from this course for a no-show. So please make sure you take care of that. Our big online assessment at the end of the semester that is proctored by ProctorU is your final exam. ProctorU is a live proctoring service that is utilized by Thomas University. Your fee for that is included in your online fees for the technology fees at the university. A couple things to know about that is the fact is that you have to have certain things to be able to take that exam. Your computer needs to be able to do certain things. You need to have a certain amount of bandwidth and stuff like that. You need to have a certain environment. And so what you might want to do is make sure sometime throughout the semester is you can go to that link right there and you can test out your computer to make sure that you're going to be good to go on the computer you have with the bandwidth that you have at your home or wherever you're taking your tests. The key thing is here is that with this test at ProctorU is it needs to be in a quiet location. It needs to be in a location where they can see your surroundings. What I found out is that ProctorU essentially will require you to show your surroundings and make sure that nobody else is in that room with you, helping you answer the questions kind of privately from the side. So you need to make sure you can't go to Starbucks and take the test. You can't. It's got to be in a quiet environment, even if that's at work. Alright, so got some links there. Check it out. There's the test it out link. I was wrong. That's the actual where you make your appointment. the equipment that you need, stuff like that. Please read through there. All of this stuff I'll remind you as you get further into the semester, but I say this because I had a student last semester, the semester we just got out of spring, and we got to the proctoring part of the test and for Proctor U, and he was not in an environment where he could take the test, and so we are still working together to try to find a place where he can take his final exam because he doesn't have Wi-Fi at his house, and he needs to be in a private location. And, so if you have concerns about that, email me, and we can figure out a strategy. We can figure out a place where you can take it, whether it be at work, just something. Okay, so trust me, I will work with you. We'll figure something out. I also put up there the stuff that are allowed to use on your final exams. That way you're kind of aware of it. So let me know if you have questions. I feel like I'm rambling on, but I'm trying to blast through this thing as quickly as possible. Obviously, you have a part 2 of your syllabus. That is the universal policies for Thomas University. So if you back out of this page and you go and take a look at the syllabus, part 2 is just below. And then here's the magic. Here's the one that I was talking to you about. And I've taken this actually, and I'm going to show you here. This is our course schedule. This is what's due on a week-to-week basis. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken and made that into its own document. So I don't want you to print out the syllabus. The syllabus, if I make any changes to it, I'll bring it to your attention. I'll point it out. Otherwise, that syllabus will be sitting there. So there's no reason for you to print 8 pages of the syllabus that you're never going to look at again. I can't tell you how many classes I've taken where I printed the entire syllabus, and then all I really needed was the course schedule. And so I put the course schedule into one document for you, and you can kind of see how it's broken down here. I apologize, I didn't put the modules here, but I will. Basically, the modules are broken down by test. So, you've got your module 1 will be test 1. So you can see that our first test needs to be taken by June 10th, which is pretty quick. That's 3 weeks worth of class, and we're already on to our first test. But our first week, and you're going to see I'll have separate announcements on this and information, but this kind of gives you an idea. So our first week, we got a reflection, introduction, we got a little video on discussion board and etiquette, got to read through the syllabus, you need to print out your course schedule, you need to view the welcome video, which is what you're watching right now. Don't forget to watch it all the way to the end, complete the TU info and agreement form, and get that submitted. And then you got some stuff that's due, and all this is due by Sunday, and you got 4 sections. Now I know that probably looks extremely overwhelming, but this information is nothing more than just informative information. This is just information where we're just, like it says, getting started, starting to talk about data classification, vocabulary. There's no mathematical calculations in any of this. It's all definitions. So this will go pretty quick this week. And like I said, some weeks will seem really heavy, some weeks will seem very thin, and as we get further along in the semester, you'll have 1 or 2 sections per week, and that's because those sections require a lot more calculations, a lot more learning, the concepts are more complex, and we build our way through. No matter what, either way you cut this, this is an intensive course. This is an intensive course for a summer semester. The amount of information that we're going to cover, by the end, you'll be like, whew, wow, I'm so glad that's over with. We will do our very best to follow this course schedule as listed here. Each week, I'll send out an announcement to remind you of what's due that week, and that information will be located inside. So, like I said, go and print out the course schedule. No need to print out the course syllabus. This syllabus will be there, and I'll stop scrolling in just a minute. This syllabus will be there. If I make any adjustments to it, I will let you know. I will send an announcement out to let you know it's updated. Alright, so back inside here. So next time, like last time I said, next time you come into the course syllabus tab right here on the left, you will also see a link for the course syllabus. Okay, so please make sure you review the part 2 and the honor code. That's also included inside of there's a survey that you take for me that will be posted in the opening activities. Okay, so let's talk about the layout of the course here. And this could tweak a little bit as the semester goes on, but I'll keep you up to speed. Like I said, this is my first time using Canvas, so I'm going to kind of play around with it and try to find the best practices that'll make it as easy for you as we go through the course. But this is the generic format that, that TU requested we use, and so I'm trying to follow that. So in our modules, we get it going here, and you have your getting started, and I'm just going to kind of bounce through them. I'm not going to read them. You've got an intro, a course overview. You've got meet the instructor, and for some reason my picture's not popping up. Hopefully that will for you later, so you can just see what I look like, because we won't probably ever see each other. I don't have office hours. If you need to talk to me, you can schedule it by phone. You can give me a call. Like I said, send me an email is probably the best, and say, hey, can we get talk this afternoon? And we can set up a time. Or if we need to, we can meet online in my Zoom environment and talk about stuff. And that gives you a little bit of information about me down there at the bottom. Here's a little video about the honor code, what it's about. Make sure you follow that, please. You know what? I'm going to go back. I'm just going to address a couple things right here. I expect that you'll do this work on your own. When you're taking a test, you take 5 tests from me. I have no way of knowing whether or not you are the person taking those tests. Thomas University is put into place because of financial costs of proctoring each exam. They have only put into place one proctor, and that's on the final exam. Being honest, following the honor code, doing the work on your own. If you need to get help from a friend that's good at statistics to do some of the homework to practice it, please do. But when you certify, you should be doing the homework on your own. But when you're doing the practice, get help. Because it's the same thing as me helping you. Feel free to get help when you're doing the practice. But when you're certifying, you should be doing it on your own. When you're taking a test, it should be on your own. When you're submitting assignments, whether it be a Microsoft Excel assignment or whatever, whatever part of this course that we do, it should be your work. It shouldn't be somebody else's work. So just remember that that's there. Like we want to. I want my course to have value and rigor that will allow you to go into the workplace and have skills that you'll be able to share and to show your employer that you can do. So by doing that, by being honest and following the honor code, I feel like you will build those skills. So there's that contact tab. It's got information, places to contact if you have questions or concerns about things, need help. Reach out to me, and right here I'll go ahead and get my Zoom link posted here at some point. But once again, if we do a Zoom together, I'll have to send you the link, and it won't be a big deal. So don't sweat that piece. Okay, little orientation of the course, how it works, how Canvas works, because this is new for all of us. If you need to get any help for Canvas or through TU, and that takes us to us. So let's take a look at that. Let's go to modules, because that's where we essentially are. So module 1 or module 0, the beginning. We got a couple things here. So creating and learning a Hawks Learning account and enrolling for the course. I've got a PDF right here, so a lot of times what you'll see here is if you see a link like that, it also have a little preview thing. You can open it either way. This video right here is created by Hawks Link. It'll help you walk through the process of creating an account. I'm going to stop here with all of that because the intent of this video, I'm at 28 minutes. The intent of this video is not for me to show you how to log into an account. It was to welcome you to the course. So let's go back to the modules real quickly. So the way the modules work is that you've got your each test has a module. Obviously, the opening activities is not a test. So by the end of the week, you should complete all of these activities inside of the opening activities. I'll have a couple more. I'm still getting things organized and put into place. In module 1, you've got these chapter 1 or these chapter 1, section 1, 2, 3, 4 assignments to complete. I'm going to take a minute and just go into one of these real quickly and kind of walk through this so I can wrap up this video. So you come into this guy right here, and what I've done for you is a couple things. I've gone in here and I've linked up a PowerPoint, and I've also, and something, I just made a decision. I'm going to make a separate video for this. And so I'm going to wrap up this welcome video. I'm going to go back to the modules. I'm going to say, so here we are in the course. Please take the time to go through here, preview this. Obviously, if you made it to these 29 minutes with me, then the secret word is banana. Okay, the secret word is banana. At this point, make sure you go in and complete all the information on the opening activities, and you'll find out where to put in that secret word. Thanks for watching the welcome video, and welcome to MTH250 Summer 2018.